Welcome back, everybody, to the Gamecocks Dynasty here in college football revamped as we head into our fourth game of the season. Actually, is going to be our third straight game against a fourth straight game against a ranked opponent, as the Gamecocks are sitting at a solid 2-1 on the start of the season. Considering how tough the schedule was, it's no surprise that we dropped a game, but unsurprisingly, we lost to North Carolina, and last week we were able to defeat the Bulldogs. So right now, for the first time in a long time, the Gamecocks sit atop the Eastern Conference standings, and today we have a chance to continue our win streak against the 21st ranked Texas A&M Aggies. As we all know, last year the Aggies had a very disappointing season. They struggled to even get to a bowl game, and they are coming back with a vengeance this year with a quality win against Florida in the first few weeks. They have an opportunity to win today and make a massive leap in the rankings if they are able to do so, but hopefully we will be able to stop them or prevent them from doing that. As always, if you guys do enjoy this series, join in and subscribe and hit the like button as we head into this matchup. The 8th ranked Gamecocks and the 21st ranked Aggies, as the Aggies will get the ball first. They actually elected to receive it, so that is something you don't see very often. And Devon A-Chain on the first play from scrimmage, he's got 16 yards. Last year out, we were able to limit him on the ground. This year they are looking to get him going early as they give it to him again on the next play, and he's got another solid run. He gets tripped up after about 8 yards. That is a great start for this Aggies offense. Now Johnson out of the shotgun I formation. He wants to throw it to the right side. Johnson's going to hit Jake Johnson. That is Max Johnson under center for the Aggies. He's got a first down there. 2nd and 6. Johnson once again is going to give it to A-Chain, who breaks a couple tackles, tries to push Debo Williams. Thankfully, Debo is able to muster enough strength to get a stop. Now 3rd and 5 with Johnson in the shotgun. A-Chain doesn't get it this time. Instead, he stays to block. Johnson under pressure, evading the tacklers, and to the air, and he's got to find his man. Aniyah Smith working his way free in the secondary, and just a beautiful thrown ball by Max Johnson. But now they face a 3rd and 8 as Jake Johnson goes to the right side. Johnson takes the snap, rolling, and he just has to take it. Doesn't even have a chance to get rid of it or throw it away, as they are going to settle for a field goal here. So for the Aggies, a disappointing outcome. They had a lot of momentum there early in that game, and unfortunately for them, they have to settle. Now in our first play from scrimmage, Marshawn Lloyd's going to run it on the outside zone. 3 yards on the play. A long run for just 3 yards. 3rd and 7 now for Rattler. He's going to take the snap, looks to throw immediately, and that one is way off. I'm not sure if he was targeting Landon Sampson or Corey Rucker, but either way, it was actually closer to the cornerback, as the Aggies will get the ball back now on a 3rd and 3. Johnson's going to fire across the middle, and he's got Moose Muhammad III, the son of NFL receiver and pretty good receiver for the Carolina Panthers, Mushin Muhammad. He likely has a bright future ahead of him in the NFL. And now in the next play, they're going to go to Chase Lane on the jet sweep, and David Spalding and company blows that one up in the backfield. So a 3rd and 11 now for the Aggies. Johnson out of the shotgun. A-Chain stays to block. He hits Jake Johnson, who gets scared of Nikim and Awori on that left side, and he's going to drop it, and the Aggies will settle, but they'll miss the long field goal. So all of that, and the Gamecocks get the ball back with about 2.5 minutes. Rattler to the air, immediately intercepted. Hawthorne running the wrong way. I don't know what happened there. Just a glitch in the game, I suppose. But either way, the Aggies get the ball back, and on a 2nd and 2, Devon A-Chain rumbles down the middle of the field. You know it's bad when your defensive lineman is making the tackle 15 yards down. And that is going to be a first down for the Aggies. Now 1st and 10, almost intercepted. Emanwari again. He's had a few of those this season on that free safety position. That would have been a touchdown if he brings that one down. Instead, the Aggies get a 3rd and 10. Johnson, he's made magic before. This time, breaking multiple sacks, firing to Muhammad III. Moose. Big catch there for 25 yards as Max Johnson makes it difficult to bring him down. He actually finally gets taken out by his own lineman, and Moose Muhammad, man, he just works his way free in that secondary. It's hard to cover for that long if you're a defensive line can't make a tackle. Now on a 1st and 10, they're going to go to A-Chain, who gets lit up. He actually loses a yard. That was Mo Kaba bringing him down, the senior linebacker. He has had himself a great start to the season, but the Aggies will go into the second quarter down or up 3-0 as you see Kaba lay out the big hit on A-Chain. Now 3rd and 11 to start the second quarter. They've missed a field goal, so they may be a little bit more ready to go for it if Max Johnson doesn't get this one off. He just barely does. 4th and 11 now. This one's much more manageable. They're going to settle again for another field goal. Snap is back. Kings holding, and that one is up and right down the middle as Kyle Field is celebrating for that one. 1st and 10. Rattler now. He threw an interception last time out. This time he's got Jaheim Bell. Actually kind of comes back to the ball. And that is going to bring up a 3rd and 3. Rattler now wants to throw. Fires to Bell again, and it's intercepted again. Matthews in coverage. What a read by the defense. Spencer Rattler didn't even see the free safety come down. He was stuck on a block for a second, and Rattler still threw it. And the Aggies up 6 have another opportunity here. 2nd and 7. Devon A-Chain up the left side. He's only got about 2 on the play. Now they'll get to a 3rd and 5. Another field goal here would be best case scenario for the Gamecocks. Johnson wants to throw. Nobody open. Instead, Moose Muhammad right behind Mo Kaba. Oh my goodness. Kaba was in great position, but the throw was just perfectly placed in. This Aggies offense continues to impress. 2nd and goal, though. Max Johnson, no time to throw. Jordan Birch is going to bring him down in the backfield. That is going to be his first sack of the day. Max Johnson has been getting hit early and often by this defensive line. It hasn't seemed to affect him too bad just yet, but it will eventually. 3rd and goal. Johnson wants to throw. He fires underneath. Thankfully, Musa Muhammad cannot make another big play. He gets 10, and the Aggies will settle for another field goal. That's going to put them up 9-0 now. 1st and 10. Rattler wants to go to the air, rolling out, firing, and that is just completely off target. Doesn't look like himself right now. It's possible he has an injury of some sorts, but on 2nd and 10, oh my gosh, it's intercepted again. Jacoby Matthews leaps up and grabs that one as intended for Landon Sampson. And the Gamecocks with 3 straight interceptions, and Ananias Smith on 3rd and 16 on the post route is going to get the Aggies down to about the 2-yard line now. 1st and goal. Johnson with A-Chain to his left. He gives it to A-Chain. Nobody there, and he swerves into the end zone. Touchdown A&M. That is going to be a 16-0 run by the Aggies here to start the day, but this time Jaheim Bell's wide open across the middle, out to the 40 and down to the 35, maybe the 36. He got 36 on it. Now 3rd and 3 for Rattler. It's going to be a play action. He's under pressure, rolling out, tries to throw it, and the Gamecocks stall on this one. It is 16-0 still here, very late in this second quarter. Johnson brings Jake Johnson. That's going to be a fun thing to say for the rest of this game. In motion, Max Johnson fires to Chase Lane, breaking tackles, and he is finally upended across the middle. Cam Smith coming in to save the day now. Max Johnson with A-Chain to his right. 3rd and 4. They are letting the clock wind down as much as possible, and they take the snap. Give it to A-Chain. A-Chain, no room to swerve this time as he's only got 1 yard. But the Gamecocks will start deep in their own territory at the 3. 1st and 10. Rattler into center. Tries to run up, and he's sacked. Tell me he made it out. It looks like they're saying he had a safety there. Isaiah Rakes brings them down right in front of the goal line. 18-0, and everything that could go wrong continues to go wrong for the Gamecocks as Moose Muhammad makes a 13-yard grab. 3rd and 9 now. Much later in this half, it's going to be an incomplete pass, so the Gamecocks would get it back late in the second quarter. Rattler on 1st and 10 wants to fire downfield, underthrown, and it's, oh my gosh. Thankfully, time will expire as long as he's brought down, but Spencer Rattler, 4 interceptions in this first half, and that one was wide open. He just underthrew it. Landon Sampson had about 20 yards ahead of him, and Rattler could not make the throw as the Aggies go into halftime up 21-0. And you've got to wonder, Luke Doty might just make an appearance in this one if Spencer Rattler can't make any noise. I would not be surprised. And just like I assumed, he is coming out here in the second half. 1st and 10. First pass of the season for Doty. He's got a first down. Or I should say first pass starting for Doty on a 2nd and 13 now. He's going to step back again to make a throw into coverage. Jaheim Bell jumps forward for the pass to the 20. Nobody to catch him down to the 5 and into the end zone. Jaheim Bell, 60 yards for the big tight end. Last week he had 3 of those. This week he's a little lower on his averages considering how bad our passing game has been. But he jumps forward to make that grab. Could have been an interception. And instead he just makes it a foot race and an easy touchdown for the Gamecocks as they look to get back into this one. The Aggies now 3rd and 6. Johnson under center. He takes the snap, fires into coverage, and could have been intercepted by Mo Kaba. Unfortunately, he was not able to get there. 1st and 10 now. Doty's going to go to the screen to Rucker. He stumbles a little bit, and he gets lit up in the backfield. Now 2nd and 11. Doty out of the shotgun, wants to throw again. This time he's going to roll out a little bit. Fire off his back foot, and it's caught. Juice Wells with the toe tap. And the Gamecocks now 3rd and 10, trying to get on 1st down here, and Doty just tries to run up the middle. He is wrapped up. And Mitch Jeter has had his struggles, but he's able to knock that one through the middle. And that is going to be a 10-21 game for the Gamecocks. 3rd and 5 for Max Johnson, now trying to prevent another 3 and out. Instead, he gets sacked. Jordan Birch from behind, and I believe that was Alex Huntley. Now the Gamecocks, though, not a lot of action happening in this 3rd quarter as they face another 3rd and 19. Doty wants to make the screen pass to Lloyd. No blocking whatsoever. If they pick up that one man, might be a 1st down. Instead, it turns into a loss of 1. And the Gamecocks now have to get a stop here on 2nd and 8. Devon A-Chain busts into the right side. Wide open off the right line there. The right side of that offensive line just made a magnificent block there, and Devon A-Chain made a huge run. Now 3rd and 19 for Max Johnson. He's going to fire to Chase Lane off the crossing pattern. Cam Smith, supposed to be our best cornerback, just could not keep up with Chase Lane. Now 2nd and 10. Johnson under center, steps back to the air, fires to Jake Johnson, breaking tackles and rumbling down around the 3. Now 1st and goal. Max Johnson to the left side of the end zone, and it's a caught touchdown. Moose Muhammad III with excellent adjustments in the air, and the Aggies go up again by 18. Marshawn Lloyd on the counter play on the next drive has a lot of room to scamper as we enter under the final minute of this 3rd quarter. Luke Doty on 2nd and inches, gives it to Lloyd again, breaking tackle, spinning, breaking another off to the 30. Foot race down to the 25, and he's tripped up at about the 21. Now Doty 2nd and 7, wants to throw again. Another corner route, and that's Kenyon wide open. His man falls down in coverage, and Trayvon Kenyon, he gets another touchdown on the season. The tight ends have come to play today. We will miss them sorely next year as, man, Moose Muhammad drops a 3rd down pass. And the Aggies will punt it away. Lavosa Carroll has allowed one time to be pinned deep, and this time it is another magnificent punt by the Aggies. And they are going to have the Gamecocks at about the 3-yard line again. Doty's going to give it to Lloyd right down the middle. He makes a man miss up to the 20. Foot race out to the 31, man to beat. Juice Wells gets the block out to the 50. Out to the 40. Is anybody going to catch him across the 20? To the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and he's tripped up. Oh my goodness. Marshawn Lloyd, 95 yards, and he still doesn't score. What can we do to get this man a touchdown? 95 entire yards, and it's not a touchdown. Man, he ran out of steam late on that one, and the Gamecocks, though, on a 2nd and goal. Doty wants to run it, evades the defensive lineman, and he's got a touchdown. Big one there for the backup QB as his confidence continues to rise, and we may have a QB battle stirring here in Columbia. Not necessarily here in Columbia that we're playing there as LJ Johnson gets brought down in the backfield, but you guys know what I meant. In Columbia as far as the Gamecocks go. 2nd and 15 now after the backup LJ Johnson was brought down. Max Johnson wants to run this one. A couple of missed tackles. Eminowori takes a bad angle, and it's a 1st down and more. And a big 24-yard run. What turned into a punt and a 1-yard run at best turns into a first down and a 24-yard run. Now Johnson under center on 2nd and 11. He fakes it to LJ Johnson, rolling to his right side, and he is brought down. Big tackle there by David Spalding, a sure-handed tackler so far this season. 3rd and 13 now. Johnson under pressure immediately brought down. And the Gamecocks have a chance to do this. Now 1st and 10. Doty keeps it himself on the read option, cuts it out to the right side. He's able to get around one man out to the 50, out across to the 45, and tripped up on his side out about the 41. Man, what a run by Luke Doty. Juice Wells with some magnificent blocks there on the right side. And he is brought down not quickly by this Aggies defense. Now Doty is going to be a play action. He wants to go to the air, hit as he throws, dropped by Lloyd, and Luke Doty having some trouble getting up. Oh my goodness. So Spencer Rattler will come back into this one on a 1st and 10 now. Rattler out of the shotgun. He wants to throw, firing to the flats on his first pass since he left the game at halftime. Jaheim Bell with 3 yards. 3rd and 7 now. Spencer Rattler wants to throw again. He's going to fire into triple coverage. Juice Wells adjusts and makes the catch. Now 3rd and 8. Gamecocks need a touchdown or at least a field goal. And Rattler, oh my goodness, what are you doing? A terrible pass for the end zone, and they're going to try the field goal. Mitch Jeter misses it anyways. Oh my gosh, everything's going wrong for the Gamecocks. 2nd and 5, just need a first down, and this one's over, and LJ Johnson got it. Oh, the Gamecocks will fall 28-24 to the 21st ranked Aggies as they get their revenge for the win last year, and the Gamecocks fall to 2-2 on this young season. As hard as it is to say that, the Aggies won that game, and they should have won by a lot more than 4 points. As you can see, Luke Doty came in and he threw 7 for 10, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he did as good as he possibly could. He added a touchdown on the ground as well. Spencer Rattler, 6 for 16, 68 yards, not a touchdown. 4 interceptions. I mean, sure, you could say just 3, the one at the end of the first half didn't matter all that much, but I mean, come on. 4 interceptions by our starting quarterback against a ranked team. That is just embarrassing. Marshawn Lloyd only ended up having 8 rushing attempts. He had 164 yards, 4 for 38 for Luke Doty. I mean, we didn't have a lot of opportunities on offense to run it. We were behind the entire game. Jaheim Bell had a magnificent day, 5 for 112 and 1 touchdown. And then Juice Wells, 2 for 51. Trayvon Kenyon added that 1 touchdown down there for himself. We allowed a couple of sacks. I mean, Debo Williams still leading the team in tackles, 10 total for him, all of them solo, 2 tackles for loss, 1 was a sack. And Mokaba, same thing there, 10 total tackles, all of them solo, 1 for loss, no sacks for him. David Spalding did have a sack. Jordan Birch had 2. Tonka Hemingway, Trey Sanders both had 1 as well. And we went into our bye week off of probably our toughest loss yet. I came into this thinking we had a great chance to run the table this season. It was a tough start to the year, and that loss to North Carolina wasn't that big of a deal at the time. But now we are 2-2 on the season. A loss to Texas A&M, a loss to North Carolina, and we need to get back on track somehow. As we come back home to Columbia, thankfully coming off of the bye week, we take on the 1-3 Kentucky Wildcats, a team that has had a tough time this season. As you can see, they have struggled. They've taken on 2 ranked teams. They've lost both games pretty handily to LSU, who took them down 41-10. They only lost by 2 touchdowns to Florida last week, but still a solid roster. They definitely have some talent, and I do not want to underestimate them because there's something in this Kentucky water that they always like to upset the Gamecocks for whatever reason. And their loss against Louisiana doesn't even change my feelings. I am nervous about this game. Thankfully, it's in Columbia. It is on primetime TV. And we have a very big opportunity here to come back and win this matchup and hopefully kind of stabilize our schedule. I know 2 losses isn't the end of the world, but when you're trying to get to an SEC championship and you have 1 loss in the SEC already, it is a very, very big deal. But unfortunately for us, Mississippi State could not get the job done against Georgia. They took it down to the wire. Georgia ended up winning it 42-40. It was a very, very tight matchup. 2-3 now for the Bulldogs. They just had a tough schedule. As you can see, they actually fell out of the rankings. They were 16th. They lost to Georgia, and then they lost last week, and they just have not had a very good go of it this season. And unfortunately for us, they're one of our quality wins. Right now, they're not looking that great, and our quality loss, which was supposed to be North Carolina, doesn't look that great either. They have now lost a game and are fallen down to the 10th spot. Thankfully for us, we did not fall too far in the rankings. We actually only fell back to 13, which is where we started at the beginning of the season anyways. I think back to 12. And unfortunately, as far as the recruiting board goes, Aaron Buchanan, I was really going after him, but Toledo somehow got him to commit very early in the season. They didn't even have a visit or anything. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It gives us about 500 more points to go after some of these other guys, like Justin Malone. I would like to give him like 200. Cole Robinson out of Camden, South Carolina, I would like to give him 200 as well. And we're just trying to get a few of these guys to get ready and commit. I'm going to offer some scholarships. Stephen Lewis, you are offered a scholarship. You've got a visit coming up in week 8. We're trying to get him on board, and it's going to be very difficult because they have a lot of visits after, so we really, really need to get him as many points as possible right now. Kevin James, we are leading on right now. Julius Jackson's guy I really wanted. It's looking less and less likely. Josh Brown is another guy I really wanted as well, and unfortunately it is, just like I said, looking just less and less likely by the day. I mean, we have him in for week 8, but currently trailing by about 1,000. Don't be surprised if we need to run and try and get another tight end, because it's going to be a tough task to make up that ground. I mean, we don't need a tight end technically, but I would really like to get one because right now our roster is behind Jaheim Bell and Trayvon Kenyon. Both of them are graduating, and right now our tight end position is very, very much lacking. As far as the rest of the board goes, everything has stayed fairly consistent. We are now leading for Corey Nelson, which is something good, and we have one of the latest visits for him in week 12 there, so hopefully we will be able to continue that. James Macklin is a guy I've been going after pretty heavily, but it's looking more and more likely that we're losing ground on him. Kevin Clayton looks more and more likely that we're going to be able to maybe get him. I'm hoping Justin Malone or Cole Robinson will be able to fill up those holes if we're not able to get a guy like James Macklin. Thankfully, a lot of these guys are from our pipeline, so we're able to get a little bit of help there. Kyle Webb from the D.C. area there in Maryland, we are currently second on, but thankfully we have a chance. I hope this early visit will get us over that hump because Maryland's behind him and they're pretty far down, so I would like to be able to get that going. As far as the rest of these 50 points, I don't quite know who I want to go after. We've got an outside linebacker down here. We've got a quarterback who is really, really good down here, but I don't think quarterback's one of our weaknesses next year. So I'm just going to offer another guy a scholarship and hope that he, helps him jump a little bit. And I'm going to give it to Josh Brown for right now. We will use those other 250 points next week. But as always, that is going to wrap up this episode. Unfortunately, we could not get the win. Our offense struggled today. We struggled with turnovers. And I am just kind of at a crossroads here as far as what we do going forward. So if you think Luke Doty should get the start going forward, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Or should we tough it out and should we give Spencer Rattler another chance? Because as of right now, he had been decent coming into that game. But now he's 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and he just has struggled to get going in this one and in the early season. I mean, just need to get something going for Spencer Rattler next week if we decide to start him. But I would love to hear your guys' comments down below. Who should be the starting quarterback going forward as we have a little bit of a battle before we match up against Kentucky next episode. I'll see you guys then. If you do enjoy this series, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Let's wait for the next Gamecocks episode.